Hi guys, I am Rafael Vinod, BTech Mechanical final year. Today I will discuss about production function. Production function in economics equation that express the relationship between the quantities of productive factors. Instead, the amount of product that can be obtained from every combination of factors, assuming that the most efficient available methods of production. For example, it measured the marginal productivity of the particular factors of production. It also used to determine the cheapest combination of productive factor that can be used to produce a given output. The mathematical representation in production function that describes the relationship between inputs and outputs in the production process of a frame. The equation of the production function is Q equal to F of LKM, where Q represents the quantity of output produced, L represents the quantity of labor input, M represents the quantity of other inputs like raw materials, K represents the quality of capital input. The production function captures the technology's relationship between inputs and outputs, assuming that other factors remains constant. It shows how the input can be combined to achieve maximum output given an specific technologies and production process. Next, the law of variable proportions. The law of variable proportions, also known as the law of diminishing marginal returns, is a concept that describes the relationship between quantity of the inputs used in production and the resulting output. It is based on the assumption that there are different inputs or factors of production involved in the production process, such as labor, cost, and raw materials. According to this law, as the quantity of one input is increased while keeping other inputs constants, there comes a point beyond which the increase in outputs becomes small relative to the increase in the input. Next, stages of production function. It refers to the different phases of input changes as the quantities of input are varied. The stages of production function are classified into three main categories. They are stages of increasing returns, stages of diminishing returns, stages of negative returns. In stages of increasing returns, this stage the marginal product of the variable input increases. Each additional unit of the variable input leads to the larger increase in output. This stage occurs when the fixed input are not being fully utilized and the variable input helps in achieving economics of scale. Stages of diminishing returns. In this stage, as the variable input continues to increase while the other inputs remain fixed, the marginal product of the variable input starts to diminish. Each additional unit of the variable input contributes less to the overall output. The stage indicates that the fixed inputs are being used more intensively, but eventually the benefits of additional more variable input beginning to increase. Next, stages of negative returns. In this stage, the marginal product of the variable input become negative. Adding more units of the variable input actually reduce the overall output. This stage occurs when the fixed inputs are being overused, leading to insufficient in the production process. Next, estimation of production function. It allows managers and economists to quantitatively analyze the impact of different inputs on output levels and make informed decisions regarding source allocations, production planning, and efficiency improvement. The general outlines of estimation of production function they are data collection, functional form, evaluation and interpretation, parameter estimation, model evaluation. In collection data, gather data on the inputs and outputs for the sample of frame over the specific time period. Ensure that the data is consistent and accurately represent the factors of production and output. Next, functional form. It choose an appropriate functional form for the production function. Common functional forms include the Cobb-Douglas production function, the constant elasticity of substitution function, and the translog function. The choice of functional form depends on the characteristic of the production process and the available data. Next, evaluation and interpretation. It acts as the estimated production function of examining statistical measures of fit, such as R squared, and conditioning hypothesis tests on the significance of the coefficients. Interpret the estimated coefficients to understand the impact of each input on output and the overall productivity of the frame. Next, parameter estimation. It uses statistic techniques such as regression analysis to estimate the parameters of the chosen functional form. Regression analysis helps determine the relationship between inputs and outputs as well as the magnitude of their impact. And model evaluation. It assesses the eliminated production functions, goodness of fit, and statistic significance. Look at statistic measures like R squared, F statistic, and p values to determine the quality of the model, consider the economic and estimate coefficients and access if they align with theoretical expectation. I hope this video helps you to understand the production function. Thank you.